Nerdrotic.com.
Tell us the big news of the day.
So the big news of the day is that the DCEU, the movies that were supposed to tie everything together, are now going to be standalone movies. The standalone movies are going to be part of the DCEU universe, supposedly, but they're not going to be tied to each other. If that makes sense to you.
So another week goes by and DC changes its plans again. Are you surprised? Now, we have a very long tradition in this podcast of bitching about the the latter name DCEU. I was actually going back. I re-listened to our first podcast, and it was like the third subject we started bashing on Superman versus Batman. That was back in 2014. So this has been going on for a long time. This is a failed experiment, DC. For one, they couldn't even decide on a name. The DCEU is not the official name of the universe. They don't.
I know.
It's the DC film universe.
Yeah. So DCFU, the DCEU actually came about from fans.
It came from a reporter, apparently.
Yeah.
So and it stuck. So that's what it is, and that's what we're going to continue to call it. DC, you gotta brand yourself. You can't let reporters brand you. And then the constant changing. Now, I guess you said they backtracked on this a little bit. Now.
Yeah, because originally it was said that none of the standalone movies were going to be connected at all to the DCEU. And they said, no. They all are part of the DCEU. They're just not connected to each other. Because, like, you're going to have the Harley Quinn versus Joker movie, which isn't going to have Batman in it. So even though it's part of the Batman universe, it's not going to have Batman in it. If that made any sense.
It doesn't make sense. But what does make sense is we have a clear, we know what makes these things work. And what I mean by these things is cinematic universes. You need a singular creative voice in charge. You need a dictator. You need a Kevin Feige.
Yep.
And Jeff Johns is just not, he's a nice guy. So he's not going to be a ball buster. Okay.
So it came out also that Jeff Johns, and I honestly can't remember. I want to say it's Denise is her name. I can't remember her last name. They both were working at DC at the time, and they saw the script for Man of Steel, and they both said it's too dark. It's not the character. And they were both basically kind of pushed aside by the Warner Brothers executives, and that's why Man of Steel happened, why it was so dark, and why we got the Snyder Murderverse instead.
Yeah, but now they are. Jeff Johns is kind of in charge, but not fully in charge.
Not fully in charge. No.
So they need to have a Chris Nolan come back. I mean, fine, have Chris Nolan come back.
They need a Bruce Timm with an iron hand, honestly.
Yeah, I don't think Bruce Timm has the iron hand, though. I mean, I just don't. I wish he did. I would be completely behind that. But they need a producer. They need, and not a Kathleen Kennedy. They need a creative producer, somebody who's been part of the creative process, not just the producing process, which is completely different. They need somebody singularly in charge, which I don't know who they could get. I don't know who's out there. That needs to happen soon, or this thing's going to fall apart. Now, again, we talked about this last podcast. I think we could still get some very good movies out of this. I think that we could get some gems like a Red Sun or a Dark Knight Returns with Michael Keaton, or a Batman Beyond with that. What was it?
Who I said?
The voice of Batman, Kevin Conroy, said he wants to play Batman in the Batman Beyond movie, which give him a chance, dude. Why the hell not? You can do all kinds of fun stuff now, and it's getting more sophisticated. Like I think Logan really did push the bar.
Yeah,
for superhero movies. So
now that Joss Whedon is actually in the DCEU, maybe he could be that voice. You know, that unifying.
That's a possibility. Yeah, but the thing is, he buckles under pressure, man. I mean,
he does. But I think if you put him in as producer instead of director, writer, all that kind of stuff, and where he just kind of oversees everything and keeps them playing nice together, that would be more of his strong suit.
Well, considering recent accusations,
yeah,
I don't know if that's a possibility. I just don't. I think he would be. No, I don't think he would be. He crumpled under the second Avengers, and he was a major part of the creative process of getting the Marvel Cinematic Universe started. Him, Edgar Wright. It's funny because it was him, Edgar Wright, Joe Quesada, Kevin Feige, were all in the beginning the ones who got this, and John Favreau, and the only one standing right now is Kevin Feige.
Yeah,
Out of this whole bunch. Now, Kevin Feige looks like this really nice guy in the screen, but he's a ball buster when like the camera's not on, man. And that's good. That's good. This guy loves Marvel, and he's coming out with some good stuff. I hope it's Joss Whedon. I think that would be really good. Why not give it a shot, or not get Matthew Vaughn? But I mean, that ship has sailed now. So
I don't know. I think it's still open because he still keeps pitching the Superman movie.
He is, but I mean, they've been pitching it forever. I think he's going to go to Miller World with with Mark Millar and do some really fun stuff at Netflix, like Jupiter's Legacy, which would be awesome. Oh God,
Nemesis. Oh God, Nemesis, can you imagine Nemesis?
Redoing Wanted correctly would be very nice.
Doing Nemesis as a dark Batman. It's basically dark Batman. It's really what it is. And I would love to see that because it was just such a good book.
It was. Jupiter Legacy is like Watchmen ongoing though, but it's like, and fucking good. It's so good. It's a very interesting story. So yeah, the DCU is, like we've been saying all along. For one, it should be clear. I know it came out earlier that the execs saw Justice League and they were absolutely crazy about the cut. It's amazing and everything. But then this news comes out, and it furthers the belief that Justice League is going to be a giant steaming pile of crap. Do I want it to be? No, I want it to be good. No. I want to enjoy it. And if it is, will I say I was wrong? Absolutely. Absolutely. No problem doing that whatsoever. I just calling it how I see it right now.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, there's so many different templates that they could use. And we've said this before. Just follow the fucking animated series, for God's sake. That's all you got to do. You have the template out there. It's been not the majority of people have seen the animated series. I guess you could say the out and out normal people out there that don't read comics, don't watch, animated stuff. They haven't seen it. So it's going to be fresh to them. It's going to be surprising to them. It's good stuff. Copy it, for God's sakes. Make it into a fucking live action movie.
Hey, you know what most of the Marvel Cinematic Universe is based on? It's based on two things. The Ultimate Marvel Universe, a little bit of the original universe, and a lot of the animated series, especially Iron Man. Iron Man uses a lot of it. You're right. It's out there. I mean, there's tons of comics you can emulate. For Christ's sake, emulate the fucking Arkham Asylum if you want to. That's good too. But you have Justice League Unlimited. If you want to do a DCEU, just base it on that. Yeah, that's fine.
If I was going to do Justice League,
do Justice League Unlimited.
If I was going to do Justice League, I'd do the Ron Thungar War.
Yeah,
as the lead-in. That's how you get everyone to join together.
Yeah, that's brilliant right there.
Yeah,
done.
You don't need Apocalypse. You can lead into Apocalypse later on. That's your third movie, if you will. But you do the Ron Thungar War. That gets everyone together. You have this big epic battle. That's how you do it.
Yeah. So I'll be there opening night for Justice League, and hopefully it's good. I've got my fingers crossed, but it's not looking like it, And there's stuff in the DCU that's been good, that has great potential. I don't hate Ben Affleck as Batman. I kind of wish he'd stay. I think it'd be really bad to change him right now. And if you were going to change him, then you got to change him back to Christian Bale. That'd be your only move that would work. Man, it's going to be. Ooh, they're wasting time too. They don't have a lot of time to make these movies. Things change. Yep. Things change a lot. So
trends change.
That wraps it up for this video. That was just a segment of the Nerdrotic Podcast, episode 107. Hey, if you like what you heard or you didn't like what you heard, we'd love to hear from you. Please comment below. We will get back to you as soon as we can. You can find all of our podcasts and videos at nerdrotic.com or right here on this channel. Please subscribe. Please hit the bell. And, we don't ask you for money, just your undying devotion. So thanks for listening, and take us out, Logan.
Nerdrotic.com